So BA360 is our automated test case generation tool. What you see here is the dashboard. Dashboard contains all the key information or statistics related to the environment, like how many applications are created till now, how many business process features and business scenarios are created. You can also see a live chart, which gives you a trend chart, which gives you the rate at which all these different entities are getting created in the environment. So in the dashboard screen, you can also see on the right hand top side corner a box which is called as heads up display, which displays key information related to the user who is logged in. So the information could be related to any missed deliverable or any item which needs immediate attention will be flagged out here, so that user is always taking care of the important aspects of the overall project. So once we look at the dashboard, next step is to get into global data. So as the name denotes, global data, all the information related to the applications and features related to a given environment is stored here. So you can see we are for the current for today's webinar, we are taking SAP plant maintenance as the scenario, and we have configured it as an application, and there are three different features under that application. So we have create PM order, which is nothing but create plant maintenance order, create plant maintenance notification, and create equipment. So these three features are now associated with the SAP plant maintenance. So once we configure these basic entities like projects and features, next step is to get into business processes. So you can see we created a plant maintenance business process, and we have created a business scenario called corrective maintenance order process. So business scenario is nothing but a collection of steps or features which will help you to perform an end-to-end operation. And for this feature, for this business scenario, we have configured uh, three features in the order in which they needs to be accomplished to complete the scenario. So once we are ready with this, the next step is um, machine learning. So BA360 has an intelligent way to integrate with the application under test. Like in our case, it's an SAP application to automatically learn the related configuration items from the application. And with a click of a button, which is on the top, learn, we will be able to connect to SAP application and fetch the configuration items which are configured for these transactions within SAP. So you can see we have one business process, one business scenario which we configured. We have three transactions and 10 business process variations. And in total, we have 109 data variations which were extracted from SAP application. So if you look at, we fetched order type, maintenance activity type, and control type. So these are all the process variations which will be used in future for generating test cases automatically. So once we have the basic information related to the environment ready, next step is to get into the project level. Project talks about specifics of a of achieving a goal, and for that we would have set of requirements, and these requirements can be captured either as regular requirements in a waterfall model, or can also be captured as epic and user story as we do it for agile model, and this particular environment is configured to work with agile model. So you can see the user story. Once we click on the user story, we will see different aspects of data we will fill in related to the requirement. The key item here is risk-based assessment. So risk-based assessment is used to prioritize the test cases based on probability of failure of a given component. So we have four different parameters based on which we calculate this. The first one is probability of failure, which actually connects to it's an engine, AI-based engine which connects to the defect database. And if the defect data is organized in organized by modules, submodules, and functions and features, this should be able to analyze the defect information given based on the tester and the past defect information related to this business scenario. It will analyze and calculate the probability of failure. And the other parameters we need are business impact, regression impact, and recovery or workaround. So these are the parameters which can be modified by the user who is trying to create the requirement by using the scroller which is available there. So we select it, or there is another way. System also provides a simple questionnaire for each area, and the user who is configuring this requirement can simply answer in yes or no, so that system can also help you calculate. And you always have an option to override. So whatever system provides you with the intelligence, the user always has an option to override and decide based on his or her knowledge. So once we have this, the next step is that we are ready for generating test cases. So for that, we use test design module, which contains the various testing techniques which are used widely across the testing industry. So these techniques include equivalence class, state transition, decision table, and exploratory testing, error guessing. So all these are the different techniques which can be used for generating test cases. So in our case, we are going ahead with equivalence class, and once we select our feature where we want to generate test cases, it will show all the equivalence classes which are generated based on the data which is created when we captured this information from SAP. If you can recollect, we have this order type, maintenance activity type, control key. So all these variations, process variations, were captured and now converted into equivalence classes. So once we review this information, next step is to generate the test conditions. So test conditions are the initial step of generating test cases. So you select the feature which we want to use to generate test cases and click on generate. So then it presents us with all the uh, process variations and the equivalence class values. So user can either keep all the selections or deselect few based on the requirement. And then next step is to go and generate test cases. But here there are two options. Either we can go ahead and generate all the conditions based on these selections, or we have another intelligent way of doing this. We have an algorithm called pict, which actually does that for us. And this algorithm this algorithm intelligently decides the combinations. Therein it and ensures there is adequate coverage without losing any coverage um, or the quality of testing. So once we do this, the next step is to generate all pairs. So based on the criteria and the conditions, the combination of data we selected, we have generated 140 conditions. And in case we would have gone for a full generation, we would have generated somewhere around 5,000 plus conditions here. So the pict algorithm has efficiently eliminated redundant combinations and ensured that we get optimal number of combinations which give you very good coverage any without losing the coverage. So once we are satisfied with this, we will go ahead and generate test cases. These test cases are are written in the form of given, when, then conditions. So with this, you see that we can generate test cases using BA360 in an automated way, and and in a very quick time interval as well. So once the test cases are generated, these test cases can be exported to ALM, Jira, or Effecta. Effecta is a Prolifix homegrown test management tool. And even if you're using any other test management tool, we still can do the export using spreadsheets. So we can export this data into an Excel sheet and import those Excel sheets into any of the test management tool of your choice. So this is how BA360 can efficiently generate test cases.